we're on. It's always my favorite part here is to try to figure out if I'm actually live or not. So I think we're live. I'm feeling alive. Let me feel myself. Yes, I'm alive. Hey everybody, it's Mike Meyers, the Alpha Geek, welcoming you to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers Ask Mike Anything. The goal of this live stream, at least for a little bit longer, is to give those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our IT studies. Now here on the Total Seminars channel, we concentrate on the CompTIA A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus, although we can certainly go into other CompTIA certifications. And I will then put on my microphone. There we go. Does that help a little bit? Sorry, Tolowit. And then I said something that was about coronavirus isolation. We also do other certifications outside of even the CompTIA cert. So always feel free to ask me any questions. I'm all flustered right now. I'm flustered. It's been a busy day, kids, to say the least. So anyway, we start here at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time here in Houston, Texas, and we will run until 3 o'clock or until the questions run out. So be sure to ask me some questions if you want me to stick around a little bit longer. Also do keep in mind that we have a Discord channel. The Discord channel, my buddy Dave Rush will put that up there, a link for you right there into the chat window. And while we're talking about the chat window, go ahead and take that top chat and pull it down to live chat, please. That way you're going to be able to get more good information, and we get the algorithm out of the way as well. And also make sure that your timestamp's on. You'll find that to be very convenient too. So anyway, here's how this works. Number one, you ask me questions. Now you can ask me questions by just typing it into the chat window, or if you'd like, you can also send me a message. That's easy enough for me to do. All you have to do is send an email to my email address. I'm Michael M at totalsem.com, TOTALSEM.com. If you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe, and I'm Desweds at just about anything. Desweds at Gmail, Desweds on everything. So it's also a really easy way to get a hold of me if you would like. So, slower day today. For some reason, Wednesdays are always a slower day, and that's absolutely fine. I got no issues with that whatsoever. But what I do want to do is make sure that, oh, Nerf Oreos, dude. Haven't seen you for a while. Chris Dougherty, Mr. G, TD Washington. Man, we really got the whole world showing up. That's great. Good to see you guys. Anyway, a couple of things before we get started here. Yes, we're going to have a giveaway today. We're going to be giving away practice questions. Also, for those of you, just because you're nice enough to show up right here, right now, we've got an amazing deal. It's our ongoing deal. It's just for people who tune in here. What we do is we combine an ebook and practice questions. Now, when people always ask me, they go, Mike, how do I pass an IT certification? And my answer is always the same. You need three things. Number one, you need some type of instruction, which is going to manifest as either an instructor or video. That's one. Number two, you're going to need reference, which is a book. That's two. And then number three, you're going to need practice questions so you can challenge yourself. So literally what we're offering you here is the best ebook for whatever topic you want, A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, and others, combined with the practice questions, or what we call our total tester here at Total Seminars, for 50% off. Now, in order to take advantage of this deal, all you got to do is go to www.totalsem, that's TOTALSEM.com, head over to our merchant area, grab yourself, like say you're interested in Network Plus, grab the Network Plus ebook, and then the Network Plus practice questions, the total tester, and just before you hand me your credit card, just type in the code FORCE, F-O-R-C-E, because may the force be with you, which will be, oh, it is, it's May the 4th. May the force be with you. And you get 50% off. Folks, I'm already about the cheapest person out there, and with this deal, it's absolutely incredibly good. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into some questions here. Guys, do keep in mind that I'm only going to be on as long as questions appear. And if we're having a shorter day, sometimes we have a shorter day, it's not that big of a deal. Although I do need to warn you, I will be on the Discord channel today immediately, well, give me 5 minutes after the session ends, and then I'll jump onto the Discord channel today to answer questions for you. So let's see what we got in terms of questions. Andrew Hutz. Hey, Andrew, good to see you, man. Mike, in your opinion, which Star Wars character is the coolest? Oh, the coolest. I'm actually going to think about this one for a minute. Darth Vader. Come on, you got to give it to him. I find your lack of faith in the Force disturbing, Captain Twit. So K Wheat 430. So my 1001 was scheduled for today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh my gosh, K Wheat 000. Sorry, man. I hope you're getting it rescheduled like right away. Oklahoma, I've been there a few times. Literally the coldest experience of my life was in Oklahoma, just outside Oklahoma City. Wow, it's a cold place. Wind comes rustling down the plain. They're not kidding. But the important thing to do is make sure that they get you rescheduled for like tomorrow, if at all possible. Alex, what's the Discord? Alex, watch for some links on there. I believe it's already up more towards the top. But look for a link for our Discord channel. Discord is a chat tool, and it's pretty good. Will Shaw, hello all, happy Star Wars Day. Long live Captain Kirk. I'm a Captain Kirk kind of person as well, so I completely agree with that, Will. Sorry, I got a little tickle. Chris Kent, all hail the Sith. Yeah. Dono Dinga, howdy Mike. Please explain more on how reverse lookup and forward lookup DNS works and the major difference between an A record and a canonical name. Don, I don't want to do that. And the reason why is I'm happy to talk about it, but the challenge is for me to talk about, in particular, reverse lookup zones under DNS can sometimes be challenging without the proper tools. And so what I'm going to do, Dave, help me remember this. Don, I will do a full-blown DNS conversation this Monday. Literally, if I could pull up my PowerPoints quickly, I'm in a studio. I'm not actually at my main system. I could do it right now. But we will do a full-blown DNS discussion on Monday. Now, we've done one before, but I never really liked it. It's not that it's inaccurate. It just avoids reverse lookup zones, which is really important. I mean, the one thing I will remind everybody is that a forward lookup zone in DNS, if I give you a fully qualified domain name like www.totalsem.com, it will return an IP address. Whereas a reverse lookup takes an IP address and provides a fully qualified domain name. It's not done a lot, but there are very important times where that's done. Oh, Dave Rush. Now I'm just going to drink the water. Thanks, buddy. Dave's over in the next office and he hears me coughing up a lung, so he's trying to save me. But yeah, so next Monday, we're going to have a DNS day, and we're going to be concentrating on the concept of forward versus reverse lookup zones, which is absolutely fascinating stuff. What I can tell you, though, easily, Don, is the difference between an A record and a canonical name is okay, in an IPv4 DNS, if you want a computer to be on, where I would query it and it has a name, it has to have an A record. You must have an A record if you want that system to be queried by anybody who has access to that DNS server. A canonical name is an optional thing. So, like for example, what you'll see in here in Total Seminars, my primary system, I don't remember, I'll make up a name. I'm going to call it system1.totalsem.com, okay? That's an internal, don't bother trying to link it up, you're not going to get to it. But a lot of times, I just want to call it like Mike, because I can never remember system1 or whatever it is. So I have an A record for system1.totalsem.com, but then I'll go ahead and put a CNAME record also called Mike. And it'll just say, if anybody asks for mike.totalsem.com, just look for this A record. And if you ever punch in a CNAME record, you'll see that it has a place where you just put the the name, the canonical name you want to do it, and then what it redirects to. So a canonical name is kind of like a redirector. It does not, you have to have an A record, but you don't have to have a C name record. There we go. All right, Dave, I see that Dave has put the, Discord link in there. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys today. Johnny 5, good to see you again, man. Teacher Russell, always good to see you. Darth Vader was cool until we saw his childhood. Don't get me started on the ruination of Star Wars, man. I wish they had, you know, the hardest part I have about Star Wars is that they only made 3 movies, right? There's only 3 Star Wars movies. There's no more. Episode 4, Episode 5, and Episode 6. That's it. It's kind of like The Matrix. They only made 1 Matrix movie, right? Right, because we don't talk about the other ones. Mars Monster, watching you has helped so much, Mike. Thanks, man. I sure do appreciate that. K-Wheat, 000, IRC. Doesn't the A+ exam have the type of questions that you have pictures? I have purchased a total tester, but I was looking to practice those. Any advice? Yeah, K-Wheat, unfortunately, we sell that as a separate item. So we have what's called the Total Sims, which is a separate product, which is just the performance-based questions. And you need those, K-Wheat. So you know what, K-Wheat, I'm feeling a little generous today. I'm going to give stuff away. It bothers me that you didn't know about that, K-Wheat. So as a personal favor, K-Wheat only, I'm going to give you one for free. So K-Wheat, in order to get that, what I need you to do is send me an email. K-Wheat, this is for you, man. I hope you're typing. Just send me an email. Make sure I know what your name is in YouTube, and I will send you a free copy just because I'm feeling generous today, kids. So you'll need that also. Andrew Hutz, also only 5.5 seasons of Game of Thrones. I completely agree, Andrew Hutz. In fact, I would say that there's only 5, but I'll go with that as well. Teacher Russell, Mike, what kind of gear network setup do you have at home? Sorry to bring up the ruination. Still processing the pain. You're right, there are only 3. I have a lot of, my primary network at home, so I live in almost downtown Houston, so my ISP is native Ethernet. It's not DOSIS, it's not Fios, it's straight native fiber Ethernet, 1 gig up, 1 gig down. I gotta tell you, it has spoiled me. There is nothing worse, like you guys on your 100 meg downloads, and you get on YouTube and you're waiting for that thing to load. That drives me insane now. I'm like, why isn't it instantly up there? Come on. So I've got a symmetric gig as my primary ISP. That's through AT&T. Then I have I got Cat 6A wired through most of my house, but really the wired is just for WAPs more than anything else, although I've got a couple that were designed for home theater. I wired up this beautiful home theater setup, and I've never done anything with it. I don't know. I find myself enjoying watching movies like this more than anything else. I have 802.11ax Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi 6 now really, set up on 4x4 WAPs, and that's backed up with a mesh network, a proprietary mesh network. I forgot the name of the people I bought. So it's pretty easy to get good internet in my house no matter where you are. I don't have any dedicated servers. I have a primary desktop system that I use where I do most of my work. I have a couple of different kinds of home theater-esque systems. I basically have big monitors that I plug PCs into and just treat it like a computer. I don't do Roku or Apple TV or any of that kind of stuff. I have it all. I can just type in my own URLs. For IoT, I've got Nest thermostats. I've got proprietary cameras that I have programmed myself. I've got Chamberlain garage door opener, plus a few more bits of flotsam and jetsam laying around. I would say in total I have 25 hosts, including all my IoT stuff. So it's a pretty good setup, and it gets tweaked all the time. I can't tell you how many I've torn it up. David Rush, that 1 gig, if I wasn't using 83, 86. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Peter Hunt, Lelo at Game of GOF, Game of Thrones? Kiyomer Perez, hey man, taking Core 2 tomorrow. Good luck to you, Kiyomer. Do it, man. And then come back here and let us know how you did. Win, lose, or draw, okay? The total test or practice questions are going to do really well for me. You're going to be fine. Vegas Brent at 212. How performance-based questions are on the A+ usually? In my opinion, the performance-based questions are the easiest questions on the exam. To me, the difficult questions are the multiple choice questions that are really long questions and really long answers. And even those are easy. CompTIA doesn't really make hard questions, in my opinion. The problem is CompTIA can be verbose with the questions, and sometimes you just have to be careful and read the question carefully, because it's usually just a whole paragraph or 2 paragraphs, and really 1 line is the only line you need to be able to answer it. The performance-based questions a lot of times are really just multiple choice questions. A lot of them are just drag and drop and things like that. My problem with the performance-based questions isn't that the questions are particularly hard, it's the interface to deal with them can be a real challenge. In particular, when you get to a performance-based question, a big chunk of your screen is taken up with the controls to move on to the next question or whatever it might be. So you find yourself on the performance-based questions getting kind of irritated because you got to keep moving stuff and scrolling just to be able to see the whole question. But I personally find the performance-based questions on CompTIA exams, particularly on the A+ and Net+, to be some of the easiest questions you run into. The thing I need to warn you about performance-based questions that get people in trouble is the performance-based questions are invariably put at the very beginning of the, yes, they're invariably put at the very beginning of the exams, and as a result, people will spend an inordinate amount of time on the performance-based questions when they should be moving on. Let's concentrate on A+. With A+, you got 90 minutes to take it. If you're 15 minutes into the test and you haven't got through the performance-based questions, just stop right there and go ahead and do the multiple choice, and then as time allows, go back to the performance-based. It takes a while sometimes to try to figure out what the graphics mean and all that type of stuff. So just don't let yourself get obsessed on performance-based questions at the cost of not finishing the exam well. Lindsay Cray, that sounds like a new name. I think it is. I've been using Sims and they are very helpful. Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate the kind words. See, when I see @ signs, I tend to skip over them, folks. So anytime you see me looking over to the right like this, what's happening is I'm just looking for questions. But we're also going to have a giveaway here. So, in fact, we're going to have 2 giveaways today. Hang on, let me try to get in the right spot. So give me a second here, guys. I am setting us up for some practice. I'll still answer questions, but give me just a second. So which of my many tools or certifications are we going to do our practice questions on? I don't think we've done A+ for a while. I'm just getting this queued up. So here, I'll answer more questions. We're not going anywhere. I'm just trying to get this puppy rolling. Click, click, click. Okay. That's up and ready to go. Let's go ahead and look at some more questions then. Yeah, we're gonna give away 2 sets of practice questions today. Why are my DOS games not working? Oh, good Lord. Come on, Will. Okay, let me read what Will Shaw said. Why are my DOS games not working? Because they're ancient, and looking at a 8086 PC, it's just a different animal these days. Oh yeah, conventional versus extended versus expanded memory. Good Lord, Will. What games are you playing that use expanded memory? That is like a word, the memory of my childhood, the memory of your forefathers. What a PETA that is or was. I got to tell you though, Will, I made a lot of money on that stuff. Back in the DOS days, there was this text file called config.sys. And with all the weird memory, you would have to put all these really bizarre commands in the config.sys line and EMM386. Oh, good Lord. Well, in all honesty, if I was going to be trying to run an old DOS game today, I'd just find an old DOS computer. Some people have had some luck. Doing some VMs on that. I haven't with some of the older games. What are some of the older games I still play? I actually wrote a game called Street Paver. It was a paving company, and it was Space Paver. So it was kind of like a Space Invaders kind of game, and I still have it on 5 1/4 inch drives. Yes, I have a 5 1/4 inch drive that still works. I also have a zip drive, optical media drive. I got big stacks of drives, but it's very difficult for me to get that to work. Dave Rush. Mike also has Raspberry Pis. I do. Actually, I have 2 Raspberry Pis that work for a living in my house. One of the Raspberry Pis is home theater, which works pretty good. I go back and forth on that one. And the other one I use as a firewall. Odoo Buck at 217. Mike, I'm using your 10th edition exam guide, and now he's worried. Okay. The new exams, CompTIA usually gives better warning, but CompTIA popped out these new exams, it was just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And they usually give more warning, so they've surprised everybody. The old exams are going to be good through August. And you definitely want to take the old exam. Listen, when people sit down and take, when a new CompTIA exam comes out, it's not like the people who are writing training materials have some hidden information that you don't have. The only thing we have that you don't have is we have earlier access to the objectives. That's it. So it's not like I magically know more than you about these things. You got a little more time to do some research and double check on the latest version of DDR and things like that to see if there's stuff I might need to cover better. So, but other than that, I don't know anything you don't know. So that means when these new exams come out, anybody who's, you're like the beta, you're the delta tester. In software testing, there's the alpha testers, which is like in-house testing. Beta testers are people who volunteer for pain, and delta testers are people who pay for the right to be in pain. So I don't trust training materials that come out this quickly after an exam, especially where CompTIA gave such a short amount of time. Take the old exam. In my experience, nobody really cares what exam you took. They tend to ask when you took it, but they tend not to ask what you took. I've had a couple people say that there's exceptions to that, but I haven't seen it now. Tolowit, is the light ring new? Nope, had it for a while. Alucard, good to see you, man. Teacher Russell, my buddy saved all performance-based questions for last, didn't finish them, and passed the exams. Oh, Teacher Russell, you are absolutely right that these things can happen, but I don't want to tell people that, because then I'll get somebody who goes, well, I skipped the performance-based questions, and then, because Mike Meyers said that I could pass, so yeah, I have to avoid that. Alex _, hey Mike, I really like your training videos. Thank you. I recently passed my 1001 and I plan to take a 1002. Any tips or idea what I should expect? You know, the biggest thing that you've got the right study material, so you're going to do fine on the exam. The biggest thing I have to remind people is the #1 reason that people fail IT exams is test anxiety. That's the #1 reason. So when people are getting all wound up and the day's approaching and they've, spent X hundreds of dollars for the exam, fear is the mind killer. And you really got to be mellow about handling that. One of the things that I find strange is that a lot of people like to do the in-home testing. And I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of it. Me personally, I want to be able to get out of the house. I've been sitting there studying in my pajamas for the last 3 days. I want to get out, go someplace, take a shower, shave, be ready, sit down, take the exam, and do it right. That reduces anxiety for me personally. The number 2 reason people fail CompTIA exams is you know too much. And you need to keep your answers simple. Don't look for complexity. Somebody's some great tech, and they can look and punch holes through a CompTIA question and say, well, 2 plus 2 can equal 5 for very large values of 2. But that's not what CompTIA is looking for. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say, KISS method, and you'll always do better. The number 3 reason people fail CompTIA exams, in my experience, is lack of knowledge. And if you've got my training materials, that is not a big concern for me. Boy, I can see the Discord channel's going nuts here. All right. And I will be on Discord today. Rec 3, hello Mike, I bought a physical copy all in one, and I noticed that after I bought it, I have a premium version of the physical copy. What's the difference? The premium version comes with access to videos and practice questions. It's the exact same book, Rec 3. And Rec 3, for the record, you can go on lynda.com or Udemy or one of our suppliers, get those same videos very inexpensively, and hang around here. You probably you can get practice questions for 50% off or better during the giveaways. Al Ucard, glad you're agreeing with me on the performance-based questions. Andre, where have you been, man? We were talking about you while you weren't here. Andre, my favorite Belgian. Savage Cabbage, may the 4th be with you. What was Mork and Mindy? What did he always say? Oh, that's it. Nanu, nanu. Okay, let's see how far off I can be. People are like, Mork and Mindy, what is the old man talking about? All right, it's already 2:30. Let's go ahead and we're going to have two. We're going to have 2 giveaways today. All right, so we're giving away 90-day access to practice questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started, folks. Just so you know, I try to make these competitions as fair as possible, but they generally aren't always fair. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to show you a multiple choice question, and the first person who writes down the correct answer, and I don't type A, B, C, or D. I'm just ignore it if you do that. You have to type out the answer, or at least enough so I know what you're talking about. Whoever types it in first gets 90-day access to the practice questions of their choice. And we got zillions of them out there. All right? So keep in mind that if you think you're first, that doesn't mean I see you as first, okay? So luckily, I've got Dave Rush and Andrew helping me out here. So let's go ahead and let's start with our first one. You guys ready? Remember, first person who writes it down wins. What ports are used by the 2 HTTP protocols? I love this question. The main reason I like this question is because there really aren't 2 HTTP protocols, right? But here's a classic example where you kind of figure out what they're trying to say. And I'm going to let you guys sit on that one for a minute. Yeah, no great surprise, the whole world. That's a very easy one. It's 80 and 443. That's HTTP there, and that's secure HTTP. What's more interesting to me are this type of question. This is a classic example of the kind of question where if you know too much, you'll probably get it wrong, because you would argue that HTTPS is not an HTTP protocol. Is it? So this is one of these where you can get the question wrong and still have a sense of being righteous. In other words, you're technically correct, but you have no friends. So D, the answer was 80 and 443. I think we have over here, I got what looks to be a fairly obvious winner. Guys, I got this one. And this one is going to go to Alex_. So Alex _ congratulations to you. You have won 90-day access to the practice questions of your choice. Now, Alex, you don't get yet. In order to get that prize, you got to jump through one big hoop. Alex, you got, whoops. Let's try that again. Alex, you got to send an email to my buddy Dave Rush. That's daver@total7.com. You must send him an email. Will _ was it Will? Alex _ sorry. And Alex _ in that email, be sure to put your YouTube name, put your email address. Yeah, I know it's an email. I still want to see your email address in the body of the email. And just tell us which practice exams you want. And Dave will process that as quickly as he can. Congratulations to you, Alex. We got one more giveaway going to happen today, so stick with me, kids. Shazbot. Oh, my God, that's it. Shazbot. I was thinking Nanu, but he did say Shazbot. Mort Calling. Who is the big, oh, I forget. Oh, well. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Yeah. Now you guys got the whole Teacher Russell's talking about the Mos Eisley Cantina. Don, Mike, I am almost done with your Udemy class for Net Plus. Good. How do the PBQs look like for those of us who've never seen or taken the exam? Okay, the only thing I'm going to tell you about performance-based questions, particularly on the Network Plus, is don't let bad graphics take you away from what are otherwise good questions. In my opinion, it's been a while since I've done Net Plus, guys, I'm not going to lie, over a year. But I feel that some of the CompTIA's performance-based questions, particularly on Network Plus, could be drawn better. The questions are good questions. I got no problem with the questions themselves. Sometimes the graphics, I think, are a little on the weak side. But that would be the only thing. It's so easy for us to get frustrated and angry. That's why I'm telling you this test anxiety is a real issue. I can't, how many times I've had people, these scathing emails, your testing material's garbage and I hate it. And Mike Meyers, 1 star, blah, blah, blah. I've contacted these people, right? And I'm like, I will pay for your exam. I will pay for your exam. I'll pay for it. And don't think you're going to send me a scathing email and I'm going to pay for your exam. These days are over. I've proven my point. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and run through some of my practice questions, and they're like, oh, well, this is easy, but the real test is hard. And I'm like, okay. And we do some studying, and the most important thing I do is calm them down. It's so many people are looking to be a victim these days, And so if I can calm people down and you have them think about the questions, well, I didn't see a question like that. That's right, because I don't give identical questions that CompTIA does on the actual exam. If I did, they'd lock me up and throw away the key. But I'm going to tell you, if I put a question in my practice test that says 2 + 2 = 4, you better know what 2 + 3 equals. Capiche? Okay. Be calm. Johnny 5 at 227. Hey Mike, will a clean install of Windows 10 Home from installation media wipe out Windows 10 Pro? If it's a true clean installation, yeah, of course it will. You got to be careful what you mean by clean installation. Like for example, if you install a Windows 10 and you're on a boot media, Windows 10 Home, it's going to see the Pro version and it's going to try to install on there. And if you redirect it to a different folder than C:\Windows, it will go ahead and install. It won't necessarily wipe out the Pro version, but it will certainly, it'll set the UEFI to only boot off the Home version. It's been a while since I've done that, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'm not positive. We'll see what the other guys have to say. One nice thing I got to say about this group, Johnny 5, is there's a lot of good techs on, and they're very, very helpful on this stuff. Andre, it's the 4th of May, Remembrance Day. Tomorrow's Liberation Day, party time. As in World War II stuff? Interesting. What's about me and the glasses? Because I look like crap without glasses on. I'm one of these people who's designed for glasses. Yeah, that question was way too easy. I'm going to give us another. Orson, that's it. More calling Orson. Thank you. I can tell you, between Teacher Russell and Tolowit, I need the. You guys are getting to be important. Ali, I haven't seen you for a while. Mike, don't you agree with me that Windows 10 is slower than Windows 7 in terms of performance, especially on laptops with low frequency? Why is that? I wouldn't blame Windows. I would probably blame your apps. And also, you take Windows 10 and unplug it from the internet, it goes a lot faster. Windows will recognize when it's not on the internet and stop all the telemetry, which definitely puts some overhead on the system as well. I mean, Windows 7 was a pretty chipper operating system too. I'm neither going to agree nor disagree with you. I got to think about that one for a little bit. Yeah, because the other problem since Windows 7 has come along, our systems have got a lot faster too. Richard James at 231. Hey Mike, how long do you think someone should stay in their first service desk job before moving on? So I'm about to say something that's a little controversial, but I'm going to say it. I don't think you should stay there very long at all. I think the moment you get that job, you're looking for a better job pretty much instantly. There's nothing wrong with Help Desk. It is a superb way to start cutting your teeth into the world of IT, and it is a classic method for entry-level people to get into the world of IT. But to me, that Help Desk job, that's just paying your rent until you can get a better paying job. Now, I need to qualify this. I know a lot of people who love being on Help Desk. They're just generally friendly, helpful people. You know, they probably would have been an emergency operator in another life. And they generally enjoy it. They become help desk managers and they move up into higher management from there, and that can be very successful. Especially if you stick around for a year and a half, because the turnover for help desk is so high. But in general, I would think people would want to be moving on. It's just a matter of personal choice. Savage Cabbage. How dare they insult the great Mike Meyers, right? Will Shaw, I totally bombed my GMAT due to bad test anxiety. Will, I understand, man. It's test anxiety is a big deal. You know, that's one of the reasons when you guys look, if you get my practice questions, I try to mimic the look and feel of the actual CompTIA exams. So when you look at my practice test and then you go to the actual CompTIA exams, there will be a sense of the layout. Obviously, I'm not copying questions or anything like that. But the layout is the same, just because I want to reduce anxiety wherever I can. And I found that that's one place that's very helpful. Chris Kent. So for the 220-1002, would I be able to take the new test, or would I take the whole thing over? Oh, no, dude. Chris, if you have got the 1001, you need to take the 1002 right away. Then you're A+ certified. Then you move on to other certifications, okay? Yeah, Dave Rush has answered that. Yeah, my controversial opinion, never. You know, I don't wake up in the morning going, today I'm going to be very controversial. But it seems to work out that way. I'm trying to find a harder question. Since I'm an A+, I want to find one that's a little bit more challenging. We're about to do another giveaway here, folks. So we're going to give away we're giving away another 90-day access to practice questions. Ooh. Dave Rush, question number 26744. Dave Rush, that's question 26744. Needs to go. It's not wrong. It's a good question. It has a little issue. Ooh, this is a good one. All right. You guys ready? We're about to have our second and final competition for the day. On this particular question, this is one of these types of questions where if you take your time and think about it for a minute, that you'll probably be okay. So let's go ahead and give this a try. This is a little bit of a trick question, but it's very indicative of the type of questions you'd run onto with the A+. So let's just go ahead and dive into this. You guys ready? Here we go. You're about to get a multiple choice question. The first person to answer the question properly wins 90-day access. So here we go. Which of the following features will allow a user to store files in cloud-based storage, but can be removed when the local user space is available? So I'm not going to say anything for a minute. I'm going to let you guys look. Are people typing in some answers here? Okay. Everybody's saying on demand, huh? Oh, I've taught you guys too well. So the reason this question is interesting is because even if you don't know the answer, because this is a definitional type question, you can look at the 4 answers and 2 of them seem to make sense. On demand, but I would argue, again, not even knowing anything about cloud, I could argue in my own mind that rapid elasticity, because doesn't something stretch and go back? The right answer, I'm pretty sure it's on demand. Let me, hate to do this and then be wrong. Okay, yeah, on demand. So this is an interesting question. Oh, by the way, this is the total tester right here, folks, if you're interested in how this thing works. So this is an interesting question, but this also is indicative of a lot of stuff you run into on a CompT exam. And this is what I call a 50-50. In this particular case, without even knowing the cloud, hell, without even knowing PCs, I could probably get it down to B and C. And that's an important thing because anytime you can get in a multiple choice down to 2 questions, you've already got a 50. So you get a 50%. Now, CompT has a weird way of measuring percentages in that they don't. So it can be a little bit of a challenge of putting this directly as a 1-to-1 correlation as a percentage. But if you can get, on any exam, if you can get it down to 50-50, right? Then you've got half of those right or half of those wrong, you're guaranteed a 75%. And that's without knowing anything, assuming you can get them down to 50-50s. So this is a great question for exactly that type of situation. Don Odinga says, so easy, Moke. All right. Oh, geez, everybody got this one. All right, so this one I think I'm just going to hand to, hey, Brian Beggs, good to see you. Brian, hey, man. Brian, thank you for those erratas, brother. I really do appreciate. I hate getting them from you, but I've learned to trust your skill set. And Brian's been really helpful catching some pretty subtle errors. So thanks again, man. I sure do appreciate it. Okay, so it's going to be, all right, so the winner for this one is going to be, you guys ready? I'm going to give this one to KWheat000. KWheat000, congratulations to you. You have won 90-day access to the practice questions of your choice. Now, KWheat, in order to claim your prize, you got to jump through some hoops. So KWheat, just like we said earlier, KWheat, you must send an email to davr@totalsem.com. KWheat, inside the body of that email, put your YouTube name, your email address, and let us know which practice exam you want. And if you're not writing this all down, don't panic, because Dave Rush always puts it right into the body of the chat window so that you can remember how to deal with that. So that is all I'm going to be doing competition-wise today. Mike, someone cheated. People cheat all the time. Don Dingo, how are guys able to know the question before you ask? Because they're fast readers. Rapid synchronicity, which is sting on speed. Tolowit, you have a martini dry sense of humor. Yeah, Don, I know it was kind of easy. I know. Nubian Queen. Good to see you, Nubian Queen. Chris Dougherty, Mike, if I do 3 different ebook and test combo packages in my cart, will I get 50% off all 3? I don't know. You're making this hard. Chris, no one's ever asked me a question like that. Chris, see if Dave Rush or Andrew Hutz have a better answer, but mine would be probably you want to just do them one at a time. You know, do 3 orders, one for A+, one for Net+, one Security+. That's my guess. All right. Well, guys, it looks like we're wrapping up a little on the early side. Not that early. It's only 45 minutes. Typical Wednesday, no big deal. Listen, I am going to be heading onto the Discord channel here shortly. I hope to have you join me on there to say a quick hello. I got embarrassed on Monday when my buddy Alex is like, Mike never shows up on the Discord channel. Well, I'm showing up today, kids. So anyway, thank you so much for being on board today, guys. I am out of here. Come join me on the Discord. I need like 10 minutes to, see a man about a horse. And I will be on today. And until then, remember, Friday is Dave Rush doing his Dave Rush AMA, DRAMA drama. And Dave will always talk about different topics on Raspberry Pis. You say, well, I'm not interested in Raspberry Pis. Well, you should be, because Dave Rush has it tuned in beautifully how you can use Raspberry Pi as an alternative tool for taking CompTIA exams. And he's done an amazing job. Why spend $1,500 on a computer when you can spend $35? And Dave's done an amazing job right here on the Total Seminars channel. Same time, 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And please give him a join. Otherwise, Monday is DNS Day. And I did do a DNS presentation a while back. I'm going to look at that, compare it, and maybe I can come up with something a little bit more fun. So we'll have fun on Monday doing DNS, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how much time we have. I may even go into DNSSEC, but the question is I'm not sure yet. I got to write it. All right, guys, I'm out the door here. Love you tons. I'll see y'all later. Until then, it's your little Uncle Mikey saying bye-bye. Bye-bye, kids.